Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 23 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. In our last episode, we won our second consecutive World Series title, which is very exciting indeed. And that means we have won 7 World Series titles. We are now tied with Joe McCarthy and Casey Stengel for most World Series titles by one manager in history. Granted, it did take me, nearly 50 years, but hey, if they wanted to win as many titles as me, they should have gotten good. Just saying. Oh, gross. I either sneezed on my pants or I spilled some of my yogurt on my pants. Anyway. So, what are we going to be doing today? Well, today we're going to be doing an off-season, an attempt to bring home a third consecutive World Series title. That's the goal today. But I also want to talk about the release of OOTP 24. Of course, this channel will be switching to the new game as soon as it comes out. So we'll be getting a new series as soon as OOTP 24 releases. We will be getting 2 new series, though. Hopefully you saw Monday's video, but in case you didn't. A True Thursday will keep being run in OOTP 23, just because it's only going to be for like 4 or 5 episodes. I don't see the point in bringing it over to the new engine. Then maybe when I play the new engine, my opinion of that will change, but that's my plan for right now. It doesn't mean having 2 different versions of Out of the Park Baseball installed on my computer at one time, but, that's fine. Totally fine. As far as what comes next after this series, I definitely want to do one of the smaller leagues, but I kind of want to do Japan, but in the Major League Baseball universe, because what that'll mean is I'll get Major League players that I can potentially add, and we can concern ourselves with things like posting. But on the flip side, which seems pretty cool, and I think that's something I think I'm going to do. I also want to do a Major League Series too, though. So I have a feeling that True Thursday will be placed with that New Japan. I've watched too much for wrestling. Nippon Professional Baseball. But I think the other one is going to be some sort of Major League series. I don't have any really good sense of what I want, though. Part of the issue being that because we've played, so much in this, I kind of know who the good prospects were. But then again, I could boot up OOTP 24 until Noah Smith becomes the greatest baseball player in recorded history. Even though for our Pirates, he was fine. And anyway, once you get past, say, 4 or 5 years into the game, that's when the fictional players start coming in, and that'll change things significantly. So, I don't know which team I'm going to play yet. I kind of gravitate toward the Mariners, but we'll leave that discussion for a later video. But I just wanted to let you all know for now that we will be continuing with the Pirates up until the release of OOTP 24, regardless of how many world titles I win or don't win. All that being said, let's wrap. So, we won the World Series. But we did it through excellence, not eliteness. We got really solid performances up and down the roster without any one player truly being dominant. And there's nothing wrong with that. We discovered Jordan Falcone is the perfect leadoff guy, so he's going to be... I don't trust him yet to play against left-handed pitching. He's significantly worse. By a lot. So we might platoon him with Zepeda to keep that going. Pagan's going to leave eventually. Even if he did opt into this next contract, I'm not going to re-sign him. So we need to start thinking about a new first baseman. Or /DH, but that doesn't have to be this year. We got our new second baseman in Garza. We paid a pretty penny for him, but I think he'll be worth it. Plus, the Dodgers are very graciously paying half of his salary. Thanks, Dodgers. So, as far as weaknesses on the lineup, I can see a couple. One of them is Vincent Robinson. Now, Mr. Robinson is still the tender age of 24. And there is still a lot to like about his offensive profile. This year was a bad year for him. He could potentially have elite power, on base skills, and enough contact to do a lot of damage. I don't know that his permanent future is center field, but for right now, I'm happy to keep him there. Now, it doesn't come without risk. He does have injury concerns, and the fact is he hasn't performed at a really high level yet. His rookie year was significantly better than his sophomore year. So maybe it's a bit of a sophomore slump, or maybe his true talent level is closer to 2069. Nice. Ooh. Now that changes things a lot. Damn, son. Like, was this a fluke? Let's do the expanded view. I need to get a sense of where he's falling short. Just this year, please. Okay, so he's making the easy plays and the likely plays. This is where he's screwing up. So he's really good at the routine and likely stuff. But when it gets to the even ones, like, remember, there should be 50%. He should be making half of these, and he is not. And the unlikelies, he's not even close to. He did get a couple of remote balls, but it seems like he's quite limited in terms of his range, which is weird. Like, that's supposed to be one of his calling cards. I'm going to leave him at center for now, but this does change how I think about the team going forward. I think he'd be much more useful in a corner. Which will then just bring us back to our old chestnut, which is where do we get a really good center fielder? And those do not grow on trees. The pitching staff was good. I think everybody here has a safe rotation spot. None of those 5 guys are going anywhere. The bullpen ended up being good. Hilliard continues to be an interesting player for me that I still don't quite know what to do with him. He's so good in so many ways because he does offer that combination of elite bullpen performance while being a fairly competent offensive player as well. He wasn't super great last year, but given what we're paying for with him, I'm more than okay to keep that going. Anthony Young is probably the most vulnerable person on this team. And that's not because of anything he has or hasn't done it. It's just because of his profile. This is a guy who, for a while, was consistently exceeding his actual talent level. I don't think he's going to be doing that anymore. He is still a good defender. He's not elite, but he's good. He has decent on-base skills. He doesn't strike out a whole lot, but the difference is he's not making enough contact. And that's always going to be his big weakness. Yeah, he's going to put up a share of doubles and the odd homer. But his offensive value has to come from the ability to at least hit like in the 260 range. If he isn't, he's not a good enough defender to play him at that point. So I think catcher is the one position I'd like to upgrade. Let's talk about arbitration. I want Michael Broadwater long term. I will pay him almost anything he wants to get him long term. He very correctly, though, is going to hold out and see if he can make even more money next year. And you know what? I'm going to give him a cool $5 million. I'd like to get him long term, but I have no doubt that we'll be able to keep him. I have plenty of money still, I think. Maybe not. No, I got plenty of money. I can easily keep him if that's what I want. Salgado, you know what? Happy to bring him back for another year. Medina. Here's my issue with Medina. It's not a big issue, but it is an issue. As a guy at the back end of a bullpen where all he does is just fill in every now and again, he's fine. But I don't get a sense he's very good at with leverage. So let's look at pitching stats. Here we go. So average leverage, yeah, he is not coming into very tight situations. If we compare that to, say, Frazier Bartholomew, who will not be the closer next year, by the way. I might even just flat cut him. But if we look at him and his pitching stats, notice his leverage is in the high ones to even the twos. So that's part of what makes him look better than he is that Medina isn't pitching tight innings. And I've got a couple of pitchers in the minors that I'd like to give an opportunity to. So I do think this is the last year of Alex Medina. So let's go ahead and trade him. Let's go ahead and trade him. Just 1 second. Okay. Now, I would love to get a catcher for this. So I'm going to start by looking at catchers. Because even if I decide I'm going to keep Young for another season, I'm not going to keep Glasgow too. So let's just see what kind of catcher I could grab. I'm not going to get a catcher that's Young's equivalent for even more money. Okay. So this is not a great look. That's fine. Let's look at prospects then. I just want the very best young player, regardless of position, that I can acquire. Mark Kennedy certainly seems to be leading in that particular category. And Mr. Kennedy is just a more extreme version of Medina. But he's also fantastic at strikeouts. Wait, purchased from Pitt? What? Oh, the Pittsburgh Trojans. Okay, so let's say I never had this guy. I'm about to, though. Let me be clear. I would never make him a starter. He is not a starter. With weak control like this, he could get eaten alive at the major league level. But he's still an intriguing prospect, and I like the profile. So we're going to go ahead and trade for him. I know this isn't a perfect trade, but I don't know that I'm willing to give up a huge amount to make it a better trade. What is Gabe Raya? He's an awful catcher is what he is. Yeah, we'll just complete the trade. I'm sorry the fans are sad about losing Medina. He's a back end of the bullpen guy. There's lots of those. I don't see why I care. Next, the question is, what do you do with Glasgow? And here's the thing. I brought him in because I thought he would be a better hitter than Young, and said he's been worse. I have no problem with him as a player. But I kind of want a new catcher to back up Young and possibly supplant him. And that'll never be Glasgow. Never. And it's nothing because I don't like him or whatever. It's just the facts of life. The best version of Glasgow doesn't even replace Young neutrally. And while he is fairly good with the glove, Young is no slouch either. So I think this is also the last turn for Glasgow. Let's try to trade him for a prospect. We're probably not going to get too many offers, but I might be surprised. Xavier Truss is fine. You know what? Fine may be the best we can do. So there we go. That's the salary arbitration stuff sorted. I'm not bringing back Henry Salgado at any price. He's literally only a DH at this point. Like, I wouldn't put him in the field for any amount of money. So hopefully he's able to find a new team that can give him some DH reps, because that's not going to be coming from me. I wouldn't mind getting some minor league extensions put out, though. Chris the colon. Okay, let's go ahead and sim up to the beginning of free agency. And then go from there. I completely forgot that I had already offered coaches, which is good, because otherwise I would not have done it. Thank you, Hiroshi. You are a true humanitarian. The minor leaguers have both signed, as has Salgado. I am slightly concerned about Broadwater. I think Broadwater, there's a fair chance he comes back to me and wants a significant raise. Which, to be completely honest with you, I will happily give him. Okay, Broadwater is pretty happy. Yeah, Broadwater is not going anywhere. He's like my one great drafting success. The starting pitcher that I drafted and actually got good seasons out of. Far too often I've drafted pitchers in the first or second round that never even make the majors, which is what happens in real life too. The major league draft is truly a crapshoot. You would give me the Ruben Alegria? How about go fuck yourself? I got this breaking news. Like, this completely changes the entire complexion of our season. A gold glove for Angelo Robinson. Well deserved. And Dave McTavish. Neat. Now, I will note, of course, that Angelo Robinson is a terrible hitter. Just terrible. But unlike the other Robinson, he does provide that elite defense. And honestly, anything I get from offensively is gravy. He is literally just here to play really good defense for a long time. That's what I wanted when I drafted him, and that's what I'm getting. So I'm perfectly content if this is all there is. I'd like there to be more. And all it's going to take is a bit of luck because his offensive profile is so well-rounded that there's a chance at any point that he could turn in, say, a league average year. I think that's his upside, though, is league average. More likely it's going to be a few points below it, but not like a disaster or anything like that. I'll probably get manager of the year again, but it'd be kind of cool if, like, we got a different award. Really? I win the fucking World Series. You're like, nah, that's not good enough. What absolute prick got the National League Manager of the Year? This makes me mad. Like, I didn't even care before, but now I do care very much. Really? Fuck you, Dan Armstrong. I hate you. I didn't get any Silver Sluggers. No, that makes sense, actually. All my players were right around average. No votes there. Bruce Diaz. I had a couple votes toward the bottom there. Oh, how close was I to getting Reliever of the Year? Really? Why on earth would Ed Hodges not appear here? Is it because you're stupid? Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, Bruce Diaz did have a good season. Ricky Trejo. Wow. Only one Pirate even got one vote, which was Tony Pagan. Wild. I'm slightly annoyed that I didn't get Manager of the Year, but whatever. Whatever. I'll just cry myself to sleep on my pile of World Series championships. Go ahead and clear the filter, please. Okay. So this is interesting. This is not a great free agent market. I mean, yes, there's Bobby Addison. Who wouldn't love Bobby Addison? He's an elite offensive performer. I have nowhere to put him. Unless I traded Pagan and he took over. Oh man, he's a really good hitter though, isn't he? And that power is something I don't have right now. Like, he's flat out better than Pagan. If Pagan is my platonic ideal of a DH, like, there's no doubt that guy's just better. It never seems to be weird to me that the AI is consistently failing to recognize the value of a great DH. Like, they consistently do this. Like, how many times have we taken an outfielder that costs like $2 million and turned him into one of the best players in the league? I'll tell you what we're going to do. I am going to go ahead and make him an offer. I'm not going to promise you the starting lineup yet, but I'm very strongly considering it. But I do want at least a 3-year deal. No, he wants that starting lineup. They would basically force me to trade Pagan, which I'm not opposed to. Because I think this guy could be better than him. Let's do it. I will give you an offer there. I'm going to get rid of Bartholomew. Like, I need him gone for literally anything. The man is doing nothing but clogging up my bullpen right now. Any player at all. I will add all of the different options here. I could add another second baseman. I could have like 12 second basemen. That's the key to Major League success, right? This just seems like a bad choice, right? Like, he's fine, but I don't feel like overpaying for a second catcher just to get rid of this fucker. Not when I could just trade for, say, a Banda here and then abandon him if I don't want him anymore. So yeah. I just want Frazier gone. He's terrible, and he's only going to make the team worse. Does he get a 40-man spot? He doesn't. Brilliant. Alright, what do we have in the catcher market? This is, I think, where we need to be the most aggressive. Alright. Now let's sort by catcher defense. And then we're going to sort by batting ratings. Are any of you decent hitters? You're okay, but you're very average driven. And that makes you not ideal. Like, you're not terrible outside of that, but I'd rather have somebody a bit more well-rounded. But you may be the best I can do. That's not true. Yes, it is true. You're clearly the best catcher in the market, and you're not gonna... I think I'm gonna go to the Rule 5 to get a catcher, unless I can figure out a prospect that I don't want and maybe trade them for a catcher. Like Jovan Hooks, he's fine, but he only has one trick. And a one-trick pony isn't likely to be somebody who's on in a great way. So let's offer for catchers. You can have your very own Jovan Hooks. And all it'll take you is an interesting catcher. Hey, our old friend Julian Farias, you could bring him back. I mean, I'm not gonna, but I could. Wow. Alright, let me add in another prospect, because I genuinely want a new catcher. And I will pay something for it. Not a huge amount, but something. Like, yes, Omar Yepes could be an excellent catcher. He is very far away from the majors, though. Duly noted. Like a Chris Melgar, maybe? I do believe in Melgar. I do think he's going to be a fairly solid player, but I think he's also got a long way to go. He's already 22. So I think offering Melgar, if I get a better catcher as a result, is a worthwhile addition. Wow, Melgar actually made this worse. Okay. Interesting. I wish your on-base skills were better. But this is getting close to the kind of player I'm looking for. Juan Rodriguez. Contact and power, okay catcher. I don't hate this. Juan Rodriguez might be the front runner right now. Angel Madrigal is way too far from the majors. I need someone who can help me now. I think it's got to be Rodriguez. Like, I know he's not perfect, but he at least offers us some offensive upside. And even if I just make him a backup the first year, I'm willing to see where we can get with him. So, yes. Done. So Juan Rodriguez is... I don't know if he's going to be the starter or the backup yet. I will work that out as we get closer to spring training. But he's definitely going to be one of those two things. Okay, so that helps us with the catcher issue. The bullpen I'm going to fill internally. I could trade Hofer. Like, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not that impressed. I give up something fairly significant for... I'll give you Almaguer. The first round draft pick was more valuable, honestly. Yeah, it's just like... He's fine. I don't exactly have anybody beating down my door to get an opportunity, unless it's Kyle Cordova. But even Cordova has been... Yeah. I mean, Cordova's got his job. Like, there's no question of that in my eyes. That Hofer's time with the Pirates is going to be very limited. Just because I'd rather let a youngster like Cordova get some meaningful reps in the majors and see if he can be more than he is currently. Hofer's also really overpaid. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Okay, so Falcone and Cepeda as our platoon. Bohannon takes the other corner. Robinson plays center. Okay, if we get that new guy, I'm gonna trade Pagan. Mostly because I wasn't gonna keep him anyway. And I think Barrera can handle first base in the short term. Like, let me be clear. I have mad respect for Tony Pagan. He truly was one of the better players of this last run of the Pirates. And I will forever be grateful for his role in winning us 2 rings. However, I do think his time has come. And he'll never be more valuable than he is right now. So let's first see if we can get that dude that I offer a contract to. The Aberdeen Ironbirds. I'll give you an extension instead. The Suns are beating about the forces of darkness of the National Football League. That's funny. I like that. Yeah, we're right there, and I would love a player with a bit more offensive skill than Pagan presently offers. Especially, like, maybe this is just recency bias, but he really did kind of screw the pooch more than once in the postseason, where he just struck it like 6 times in a game. And that's not on. You're meant to be, like, a major player. You're very happy to consider us. I'm happy that you're considering me. Any minute now, my dude, you can fucking talk to me. Did I vote for the Hall of Fame yet? I don't think I did. Or has it not started yet? It might not have started yet. Oh, no, it's happening. Oh my gosh, I almost failed as both a baseball owner, manager, and a human being. I appreciate that. Sure. Jalen Callaway, not so much. Old friend Jose Brown, I'll give him some love. If you have the name Pitt there, I gotta vote for you. Johnny Cerulli, sure. Sean Hill, sure. Mike Grasham, okay. There are not a lot of really tremendous players in this. I'm going to guess Gahant is fine. I will vote for Eddie Landman, of course. You're making me think of Mayo Cupcakes, so fuck you, Johnny. I hope you don't even make the ballot, because that's disgusting. Julio Mifflin, what a journey you had. I'll be the one guy to vote for you. Because I gotta vote for my peeps. Dave Morales should actually make it. I don't know why the game is not giving him a chance, but it could just be that we just have a really dense candidate field. And I'll give some love to Mike Tinch. Why not? And submit the trophy. I honestly suspect that nobody will get in. None of those names are really all that fantastic, so. I forgot to check. Whoops. So I literally got nothing because somebody took Willy Banda. That's funny. It's not really funny, but it's kind of funny. All players, please. Here you go. I'm literally a smorgasbord of potential relievers that I could grab and give auditions to. And because they're all so similar, I don't really see any value in that. What do we have offensively? Do we have any interesting sausages here? Oh, hang on. No. Yeah, there's not a lot here to get excited about. I'll sort by potential just in case. Okay. Now we might be talking. Gabe, you can't catch. That makes you an issue. Same thing with you. Interesting. You've got a really big bat. Potentially. Like, you could be a face wrecker. Chris Melgar, I could literally take him right back. That would be funny. You know what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm gonna draft him right back. Oh, where'd he go? I think I gotta give some others a chance. Like, it's not... Oh, it would help if I'm looking at my scouts ratings, not you jerks ratings. There you go. Okay, you're a lot less sanguine about his ability to play defense. If that's the case, I think I'm less likely to take the plunge. There's a lot to like about you. I'm just not convinced that there's a whole lot to like there. Let's look at batting potential, and let's look at contact. Sorry, let's start by looking at batting eye. So your issue, my friend, is that you actually can't play center field. Otherwise, I'd very strongly consider you. Jesus Stanley. There's a guy without a position. I've already got one of those potentially. Franklin Drayton has on-base skills and nothing else. That's a bit unfortunate. I think we're fine. I don't think I'm going to mess with the Rule 5 anymore. I think I got what I wanted. That's funny that the Twins wanted Melgar and just handed him right back to me because you decided not to keep him. Which is only even funnier because I did the exact opposite. So, who's really the dumbass here? Me, probably. Alright, Bobby. First things first, before you even play an inning for me. Oh, you actually have a proper view of your skill level. That's unfortunate. I don't care for that. I was hoping you would be, really stupid, but no. How bad would you be at first base? Pretty fucking bad. Okay. That's fair. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're probably not going to trade Pagan till after spring training. Damn, Addison. I mean, you can't always get players that will sign 10-year contracts for $1 million each. But you can hope, right? You're permitted to hope. Man, Mike Tinch made the Hall of Fame. I mean, he was a pretty impressive reliever. And I guess if I were to assume that one person would have made it, it would have been him, but... Okay. Estrada decided he wants to play football. Were you all that good? You had some legit potential. You had some legit potential. You could have been something cool, but I don't blame you for following your dreams, my friend. I don't blame you for following your dreams. Oh. Mike Tinch did, in fact, go to the Hall of Fame. And whose cap is he wearing? The Pirates. I mean, he did pitch a lot of innings with me, so congratulations, Mike Tinch. Not what I would have expected in terms of Hall of Famers, but I'm here for it. I'm definitely pleased to see my players do well, even if, like, I'm not going to take a lot of credit for Tinch because all I did was just sign him for a big contract and let him play baseball for me, which isn't nothing, but it's also not, like, truly important. You would give me Nick Henderson. I don't think so. Let's... You know what? I have 11 pitchers that have all got pretty decent roles, but if I'm going to want Cordova to start, I would like one more middle reliever, potentially. Let's at least kick the tires on the pitchers in this free agent class. I mean, Dujin Kwok would be more interesting if not for his complete lack of control. Yeah, I don't think we need them. I have enough minor league relief candidates that I'm okay with that. You know what? Let's do it. Nah, I'm sorry. I can't be bothered. As cool as it is to participate in that, I've already done it once and I don't really see that it's I'll tell you what. If another one of these comes around when I have the chance, then I will definitely do it my last season. Okay, Pagana's gone no matter what. Cool. Chris Cannon could opt out. I genuinely don't see why he would, though. That would seem pretty silly to me. Like, I don't know what he would gain from that. Because no one's going to pay him more than I will. A lot of teams will probably pay him less, but I don't think anyone would pay him more. All right. Joe Camp is still kicking? Damn, son. Hey, you know what? More power to you. I mean, I don't think he's even close to being a Hall of Famer, but it's cool to see him pitch as long as he has. I think a full year of Falcon or Falcone and Zapata at the top of the lineup is gonna just make the rest of this lineup that much more dangerous, and I love it. I think that's something truly special, and it's going to be an important competitive advantage. Hmm. How much did Salgado end up signing for? Really? Have you lost your damn mind, San Francisco? You just handed him $20 million. I. What? Like, I get it. I'm sorry that the fans are sad, but you already love me because I've brought you so many world titles. I think you'll be fine. That wow, San Francisco. I don't know. Fuji, I remember that guy. How's he doing? You actually were pretty effective in Virginia Beach, and now you're pitching for the Astros. Let's keep an eye on him. I always liked him. Oh, I did. He did pop up in my inbox. Neat. I appreciate that. I appreciate seeing my players doing well. It's good times. Okay. So let's hand out some spring training jobs. Actually, we've already got a 38-man roster for spring training. That's probably more than I need. All right, so let us begin by going to a 6-man rotation for the spring training, and let's ask who our best pitchers are. This doesn't surprise me at all. We're definitely gonna change Hodges' usage in the regular season, but for now that's okay. I'm gonna generate new depth charts. How about no? You are most definitely not starting against left-handed or right-handed pitching, Cepeda. Okay, so the person actually benching right now is Barrera, but Barrera is still going to get quite a few reps, so I'm fine with that. It's spring training. I don't mind at all that different players are going to get different levels of experience. That's fine. All right. Okay, cool. And then this is going to be interesting because I probably here's the thing. I don't want to carry Addison on the roster if he's not playing every day. Like that's just silly. He's already going to demand a big salary in the offseason, and I don't want to give that to him if he's not going to be an important contributor the whole season. What do I care about Mario Dickey? Who is this guy? Oh, I drafted him, and then I traded him for Mike Brinkman. Wild. How's he been doing? Okay. That's the nicest thing I can say about him. He isn't like a total clusterfuck. Now watch, Salgado goes San Francisco. He's like 75 home runs in 1 year, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I truly think that was like an objectively stupid decision. And saying someone who's made plenty of them in this game, that's one of the dumber ones I've seen. Like, yes, let's take a guy who's almost 40, who can't play the field at all, and see where that gets us. It's a shame for you, Shavers, but you weren't going to make the roster anyways, so forgive me if I don't cry too much about that. All right. A new Brandon Phillips emerges. Oh. Oh dear. That's not good news for Mr. Cordova here. I will be right back, my friends. Alright, friends. With the injury to Mr. Cordova, we don't have a lot of depth in the rotation. Loera could probably be a starter if we needed him to. My big issue is that most of my starting pitchers aren't anywhere near ready for the majors. Maybe someday, but for right now, not so much. So, investing in an experienced starter is probably a good choice. If there is one left. Is there a starting pitcher of some note? There is not. They all kind of suck. I guess for now we'll make do. But with the understanding that once the season begins and we see how things start to shake out, we may have to actually make some changes there. I'm just going to send Shavers to the minors. I don't want him there. You know, I'll put him on the 60-day IL because that way I can take him off the 40-man for reasons. Okay. So pitching-wise, I have 15 pitchers. I don't need 15. Juan Love definitely is a starting pitcher for us. I don't know why he ended up in the bullpen. That's very strange. Oh, because he played for Team USA. I see. Okay, so Hodges is the stopper. That is his role. That's what he's best at. And Latona is going to be our 7th inning setup guy. So one of you, probably 3 of you jerks, are going to the minors. Michael White is one of them. I have to keep Loera up in the majors. I don't really want to, but he's the only pitcher here that I think could fill in even in the short term as a starting pitcher. So I'm keeping you too. Woojin Park can also go to the minors. You're not really all that special. I'm just going to go ahead and waive you because I have a sneaking suspicion you'll make it through waivers. And last but certainly not least, I'll send Eric Strong to the minors. And this is the pitching staff we'll roll with. Okay. Our rotation is a bit more vulnerable than I wish it was. I do have some concerns about our pitching staff. Oh wait, no. We're bringing Strong back. I can have 13 pitchers. I just don't want 14. Yeah, we'll rock with 13 pitchers, I think. You can do some long relief too. Alright, so that's... No... 13 pitchers is too many. I like the flexibility, so sorry, Strong. He's probably like, make up your damn mind, you old bastard. But no. 12 pitchers is sufficient. Okay, gotta start trimming the position players. Alright, Tipler to the minors. Easy choice. Lozano is a very, very useful utility guy, so I think Lozano gets to stay in the majors. Solorio can go to the minors. Alvarez to the minors. Trejo to the minors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where's Addison? There he is. I think I'm trading Pagan. If somebody will give me something interesting for him, I will actually. A starting pitcher, please. Really? Oh, do you have a no trade clause? Yeah, you've got a no trade clause. You jerk. I'm not going to cut him. I am not going to cut him. I have way too many outfielders anyway. Okay. Morales to the minors. Morales to the minors. Jackson to the minors. I gotta get her one more position player. Barrera to the minors. As much as he's been useful, I think it's more important to have Addison and let Pagan play every day until he decides to waive his trade clause. So we're gonna kill all this. And definitely all this. And then we're gonna start setting up the team in the way I'd like it to be set up. So, we're gonna play Pagan at first base. I know he's not very good at it, but he'd be better than Addison would. So we're gonna do Addison batting third, playing designated hitter. Then Pagan batting cleanup. Then Chris Cannon batting fifth, and Vincent Robinson batting sixth. At the top of the lineup against right-handed pitching, we have Falcone, with Elijah Bohannon coming in batting second. Playing second base is the incomparable Ivan Garza, or possibly Ivan. Now, the real question is, do we let Anthony Young be our starting catcher, or do we let Juan Rodriguez be our starting catcher? I think we platoon them for now, because Young is a little bit better against right-handed pitching than the other guy. So we're going to go Young, and then Robinson, and then Rodriguez is going to back up. He's going to play once every 5 days. Lozano covers... I think Lozano probably covers all of the infield spots besides short. And I think Aguilar covers short. Yeah, because Aguilar is actually a potentially very talented shortstop. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to reverse it. So Aguilar is the second utility player against at second and third, and then Lozano at short. What are you doing, Lozano? Did the game just crash? I think the game just crashed. Really? Really? Okay, that was weird. Alright. So then Lozano backs up at shortstop. What the fuck? What is wrong with me moving Lozano? There we go. And you're definitely not never. You're if starter tired too. Wow, something is really dragging down my my game at this point. I'm gonna quickly save it. Come on. Save game. I just don't want the game to crash and we lose all the progress that I made this offseason. You may ask, have I actually made any progress? That's a fair question. All right. So backing up in the corners is going to be Zepeda. He's also going to be my backup DH. Then Melgar backs up in center. And is the secondary backup in the corners. The secondary backup at center, I think, will actually be Lozano. Or is it going to be Aguilar? It's going to be Lozano. All right. Pinch hitters. Let's go to the batting ratings. It's probably going to be Zepeda number 1. Then Lozano. Then Rodriguez. With Hilliard rounding it out. Our pinch runners are going to be Lozano and Aguilar in that order. There we go. So we're going to copy this over. I'm going to paste it all over, and then we're going to make 2 very slight changes. First off, Zepeda is going to lead off against left-handed pitching, and Rodriguez is going to play catcher against left-handed pitching. Now, there is one thing I need to consider as we keep going in this franchise, which is how valuable is Bohannon to me? He's a really good on-base machine with enough power to be very useful. But I'm wondering if we might be holding ourselves back a little bit. Like, maybe he plays first base. Maybe that's his future. Bohannon shifts over to first, and then I can put a new player out in right field. Maybe that's the future once Pagan is gone. Because they're not bringing him back. He wants to get paid a lot of money, and I'm not going to give it to him. A lot of this season, and whether we're able to come back to the heights we had last year, is going to come down to one person. That's going to be Bobby Addison. Bobby Addison may be one of the best overall offensive players we've added in recent memory. He doesn't have a huge hole in his game other than the propensity to strike out. If he's drawing walks and hitting homers with enough contact to keep the rest of this going, we found ourselves a very valuable addition to this team. If he doesn't work out, though, we're going to have to address that in the offseason. All right, amigos, let us advance up to the actual opening day. Oh, did we have any rookies make the team this year? I don't think we did. Yeah, no rookies made the team. One of the more interesting things could be at the end of this season is if Chris Cannon opts out. Because I probably don't want him if he opts out. Like, I don't think I'm going to try to sign him again because I've got at least a couple of interesting third base prospects in Solorio and Alvarez, both of whom are fairly competent defenders, and I don't see a lot of value in paying $30 million for a player who's been good, but hardly transcendent since he's come over to Pittsburgh. Anyway, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to join me next week for more, to see if we can make it a three-peat. Until next time, though, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.